morning, wonderful people. Today we're doing Proverbs chapter 18. We're going to use the New King James Version and the New Living Translation. And get a notebook to write this stuff down. Okay, so Proverbs 18, New King James Version. Verse 1. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment. New Living Translation. Unfriendly people care only about themselves. They lash out at common sense. What does that mean? It means that people who have decided to separate themselves from others, they don't want to hear anything from anyone else. They will fight you because they don't want to hear anything from anyone. That's why they've isolated themselves. Verse 2, New King James Version. A fool has no delight in understanding, but in expressing his own heart. New Living Translation. Fools have no interest in understanding. They only want to air out their opinions. So a fool is someone who doesn't want to learn. In their efforts to show how clever they are or what they know, but in actuality, if you don't hear what other people's opinions are, you won't be able to base your opinion for others to understand, and you would look like a fool. New King James Version, verse 3. When the wicked comes, contempt comes also, and with dishonor comes reproach. Verse 3, New Living Translation. Doing wrong leads to disgrace, and scandalous behavior brings contempt. Scandalous behavior brings contempt. What does that mean? Wickedness is not a good look on anyone. If you're wicked, you're bringing disrespect to yourself. You're disrespecting yourself and you're disrespecting others, and it doesn't look good. Verse 4. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The wellspring of wisdom is a flowing brook. New Living Translation. Wise words are like deep waters. Wisdom flows from the wise like a bubbling brook. What does that mean? Wise words are deep and refreshing, like fresh water coming from a bubbling brook. Verse 5. It is not good to show partiality to the wicked or to overthrow the righteous in judgment. Verse 5. It is not right to acquit the guilty or deny justice to the innocent. What does that mean? It is wrong to support someone that is guilty, and it is wrong to deny justice to someone that is innocent. Verse 6. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for blows. Verse 6. Fools' words get them into constant quarrels. They are asking for a beating. What does that mean? A fool can run their mouth, and when you run... Verse 6. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for blows. Verse 6. Fools' words get them into constant quarrels. They are asking for a beating. So what does that mean? When a fool talks, it invites violence, because when other people talk to them, they can't get to them through words, so they use their fist. Verse 7. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. Verse 7. The mouth of a fool are their ruin, They trap themselves with their lips. What does that mean? It means that a fool runs their mouth and then they get caught up by their words. Verse 8. The words of a talebearer are like tasty trifles, and they go down into the innermost body. Verse 8. Rumors are dainty morsels. They sink deep into one's heart. So, what does that mean? Gossip is like hot tea, and it tastes good, but it burns later. Do you get that analogy? Gossip spreads like fire and leaves the victim into their ashes. Get the analogy here? So basically, gossip hurts people, so don't gossip. He who is thoughtful in his work is a brother to him who is a great destroyer. Verse 9. A lazy person is as bad as someone who destroys things. So what does that mean? It means that if you're lazy, you're not only being self-destructive, but you're destroying the other people who you would have impacted if you weren't. Verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are saved. Verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong fortress, and the godly run to him and are safe. What does that mean? God's name is how an umbrella is to you in the rain. It protects you, it shields you. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own esteem. 11. The rich think of their wealth as a strong defense, and they imagine it to be a high wall of safety. Rich people depend on their money like they would an umbrella in the rain. So for them, money is their shield. 12. Before destruction, the heart of the man is haughty, and before honor is humility. 12. Haughtiness goes before destruction. Humility precedes honor. So what does that mean? It means people respect humble people, and if you're not humble, you will be humiliated. 13. He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. 13. Spouting off before listening to facts is both shameful and foolish. It's like saying that you're going to give an answer to a question that hasn't been asked yet. It makes you look like a fool. 14. The spirit of a man will sustain him in sickness, but who can bear a broken spirit? 14. The human spirit can endure a sick body, but who can bear a crushed spirit? So what does that mean? First of all, what is spirit? Spirit is like having an attitude. If you have a good attitude, what they mean by spirits is like having an attitude, right? And if you are of high spirits, you would have a good attitude towards something. If you are of low spirits, you will lose all motivation to keep going. And if you're of high spirits, you would be able to cope better than someone who is of low spirits to cope with something that is happening. 15. The heart of the prudent acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. 15. Intelligent people are always ready to learn, and their ears are open for knowledge. It means a wise person is ready to learn at any time. 16. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. 16. Giving a gift can open doors. It gives access to important people. So you can look at this in two ways. If you have a talent, it's going to lift you up because others don't have it. If you have a gift and you're willing to share it, it would open doors for you. You could also look at it as you would find yourself in a room with great men if you're able to offer something to them. 17. The first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him. The first one to speak in court sounds right until the cross-examination begins. So what does 17 mean? It means that one party seems right until both sides are evaluated. The first person to speak always sounds right until you hear the other side of the story. 18. Casting lots causes contentions to cease and keeps the mighty apart. 18. Flipping a coin can end arguments. It settles disputes between powerful opponents. What does this mean? If you want to stop any tension, any fight, give them a fair opportunity and make a fair decision, and the fight will stop. 19. A brother offended is harder to win than a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a castle. 19. An offended friend is harder to win back than a fortified city. Arguments separate friends like a gate locked with bars. So what this is saying is stay on a good note with your family and friends, and you have access to what they're willing to offer. If you're on bad terms with others, you can't expect loyalty from them. 20. A man's stomach shall be satisfied from the fruit of his mouth. From the produce of his lips he shall be filled. 20. Wise words satisfied like a good meal, and right words bring satisfaction. What does this mean? You would have to live with the consequences of everything you say. 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit. 21. The tongue can bring life or death. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. So what does this mean? Whatever you say can make or break those who hear it. 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. 22. A man who finds a wife finds a treasure, and he receives favor from the Lord. I went to go and look for what favor meant in this context, and it means support. If you find a wife, God will support you. 23. A poor man uses entreaties, but the rich answers roughly. 23. The poor plead for mercy. The rich answer with insults. What does this mean? It means that a poor man will speak with humility. He would speak as if he's begging to communicate. But a rich man, he speaks roughly. He does not take into consideration the fact that what he's saying or how he's saying is harsh, and it lacks gentleness. 24. A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. 24. There are friends who destroy each other, but a real friend sticks closer than a brother. What does this mean? To keep a friend, you must be a friend. Some friendships don't last, but others last for a lifetime. And those friends are even more loyal or more dear to you than a brother or a family member. Thank you so much. We have come to the conclusion of Proverbs chapter 18.